Keep you out of suspense now, since we're so close to beginning. And hopefully ironed out all the little issues. It's one of those things where the longer you leave the setup not doing something, the more these little issues come up. It's always like that, isn't it? Unless you're using like every day, then you get all kinds of issues. As a side note, apparently there has been some ingest issues lately, but at the same time, Twitch has been saying that they can't see any issue on their end, so I don't know. The problem with ingest issues is it's as much user error as it is ingest error. So it's really hard to tell what's going on. Alrighty, I think it is time for us to begin. Here we are, Transport Fever 2. It has been a long time since I played this. I think it was like 2022, 2023 since I last played it. And yeah, I actually had a few little ideas way back then that that I never really followed through on. I think I might have done one a short run last year, but it would have been very brief. So I want. Oh yeah, I had to. As it turns out, this game didn't preserve any of the Steam sync stuff, so I had to re-enable Megalomaniac manually. Maybe they just want to throw its rattle out the pram. Throw its rattle out of the pram for a minute? Probably, yeah. Sometimes it does that. Like, it has a real tantrum and then it just settles down. Hard to tell. Oh, and you got to 300% productivity on blues. So now you can stuff your things full of speed modules. You're into the no productivity module club. That's when the end game truly begins. Now, so what I want to do is, I don't know if I want to do a huge or what is that? It's 11.5. Well, if I go large, it's what, 8 by 24. What's 1 to 4? 7 by 28. I kind of want to do, like, instead of like a wide map, I kind of want to do a narrow map just to simplify the logistics. It's a bit of a cheat, but it means you don't sort of have everything like spewing out from the everywhere to everywhere. It means less mental gymnastics needs to happen. So I might set that to huge. What is that? 20 by 20. This is going to make the game crawl. So 10 by 40 kilometers. That's substantial. I might turn that down to very large. Yeah, 8 by 32. That might get it a little bit more under control. And yeah, at 1 to 4, like you start down there. Yeah, I suppose you could run a line up that way and then branch out that way. There, maybe have a little branch line that seesaws between those two or something. Maybe even have a line that merges into there, another one that goes into there. Or even have this one wrap around and merge into one again. Don't really know. Or I could fatten it up a little bit. You know, 9 kilometers by 27. And now you're really sort of spreading it out. But I'm somewhat inclined to the long map. The advantage of the temperate, I mean, I could do a tropical one, but it's, I don't know how this will go with, it's more island based, which is nice. But I kind of want to stick to this one, because I want to make use of the rivers. Because the ships early game are a good starting point. You know, you have a nice river up the middle. It also makes for a nice dividing line for multiple passenger lines. So I think something like that will do. I might jack up the hills and the forest a little bit too. That's water, not forest. I mean, it does mean that I can't bridge across there if I do that. It makes life a little bit more difficult. So yeah, what I sort of wanted to experiment with is having sort of central cargo areas. It's something I think I don't know if I streamed that playthrough that I did it, or if I just did it myself. But I did a playthrough where I built sort of central cargo areas, and it was just printing money, and so I wanted to really try it again. Yeah, as I say, that would have been like 2023 when I tried that. As a side note, I also have coffee. Yeah, I don't want to get too hung up on generating a map, he says as he just plays reroll sim. I'm trying to... I pressed it and I didn't mean to. There we go, that's what we want. a nice river down the middle, so we can make decent use of boats, and maybe figure something out. Let's just move on from there. Now, normally I would actually push this a little bit forward, but I'm gonna do the full thing, but I'm gonna keep it at medium. We now have this into the game, so we'll do 6 cargo types. I'm gonna turn off. I was playing with this already, so it's already off. But turning off industry closure, it just ends up being kind of annoying. Most of the industries never really move around on the map. So, like, if one shuts down, say, here, if the map was the entire screen, it'll just move over to here, and then it'll shut down, and then move over to here. Like, it doesn't really have any consequence. Now, mods. So we want the signals on the correct side. We want the correct electric signals on the on the correct side. The correct non-electric signals. We want the auto-sig because placing signals manually is sadness. Natural town growth, and I think it was advanced station statistics was the other one. So we can get decent stats on what the game is doing. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that was really necessary. Like maybe bridges, but I can always add those later. Climate temperate vehicles. I've heard that apparently setting this to all is a good idea. I won't really change any of this. Environment. Oh, that'll change the texture pack. I'm probably not going to touch these either because the natural town growth is on, so I don't really want to tinker with that. But yeah, let's just because I don't normally play with the American, and I have played with the Asian vehicle pack, so I'll set it to I'll just set it to all, and so we'll get all 3. Get some Shinkenzens with some what are they, GP9, whatever they are, the American thing. That's definitely something that happened in real life. All right, let's do it. I was actually originally planning on doing the workbench today, but I think I'm going to push that to tomorrow. We should be moving into some kind of normal schedule again too from next week, but it won't be on my Friday, which is right now. It'll be on Monday, which should be your Sunday night if you're in Europe or some such. Alright, yeah, this is the one we want. That's all the stats. We don't care about that because we haven't done anything yet. Alright, what do we got? Well, that's the extra stats. Oh, I saw Fenny, I was like, ferry? What? How is there already ferries? No, I'm just dumb. Alright, as is always the case, we want to find our biggest towns. Or at least reasonably substantial ones. That'd actually be a good starter one for sprawling out a passenger network to the different towns. Yeah, maybe actually I do that. Have this as like a central terminus, and it splits the line in 2. Beyond that... Oh, you're actually the next biggest one. That's somewhat convenient. Yeah, I could... Burgess... Ah! They're almost in descending order as we go up the river. I reckon actually those would be decent ones because they're relatively close. Bricks... And bricks too is an easy product to make. Bricks, spanners, and I'm pulling this from deep memory. Bricks, spanners, and food. I mean, food doesn't pay really well, but it is a decent starting one. Yeah, spanners because all it needs is lumber to the sawmill, to the spanner factory, to the town. It's a few steps, but it's simple-ish. It's not like oil, where it's oil to the refinery, to the fuel factory. And then to the refinery, to the plastic factory, to the factory, to then to the town. It's quite a long-winded and a bit more of a later game production chain. In fact, there's some rocks right there. And Burger Hill's right there. Cargo pays by distance, so doing something somewhat distant isn't a terrible idea. Is there any other towns that take bricks? You do. That is very convenient. Did you? You took fuel. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we need to do all at once. I think Rocks. Oh, there's actually 2 rocks to brick hole there. So we want to set... So yeah, the first thing I want to do is set up some horsies. Oh, you actually have a brick thing right there too. That's actually, if anything, too close to really be practical. Yeah, what I might do, or what I'm thinking, is we get our country road and we build it all the way to there, if it'll let me. Will you let me place the ding-a-ling? There we go. And we just carve a wedge into the landscape. Let's just... Yeah, that's a little high. How about like that? There we go. 6.5, 6.4, 6.3, 6.1. There it is. There's about the minimum cost right there. 631,000. You know what? I'm going to move that to there. Let's see if we can 6, 5, 2, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 5, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 0, 5, 1, 4, 9, 4, 1, 4, 8, 4, 8, 6, 4, 8, 5, 4, 8, 5. There it is. Done. Alright. Buildings. We need a horsey hole. We need a truck hole. We only need 1 platform. And it only needs a little one. I'm going to pull it as far away as physically possible. This is impressively far. Can you... Yeah, you can go there. And I'm going to pop another one over here. Again, it's really just exploiting the distance as much as possible. Alright, we're going to want to take the rocks to the rock factory. I want you to full load. And now we can... Alright, I think this is real... Yeah, because we now got 1, 2, 3 for passengers, 1, 2, 3 for cargo, because all 3 are available. Yeah, American, Asian, European. I think it really comes down to what the capacity is, because I think they're all 4, 4, and 4. There they are. Speed is 18, 18, and 18. They all cost exactly the same. What's their emission? 64, 64, and 66. So... The Asian horses emit more. How you interpret the Asian horses as emitting more is entirely up to you. But apparently they emit more. 5, 6, we'll say. And onto the rock road we go. Now, beyond that, potentially, I could set up a... it's a bit far. I could, that might be a job for a train. But those are future me problems. Alright, what do we got that we can do? Ah! Aha! So we have a... What I've seen is a forest lumber factory there. A sawmill down here. And a spanner factory there, which is all the same chain. Now, hopefully, Ripon, yes, sawmill, and then the consumer, hopefully, is also Ripon Tools Factory. Yes, it is. Excellent. It actually exists in the chain, which is an added bonus. Unfortunately, nobody down here takes spanners, which is slightly inconvenient. Who even... takes spanners? Jesus, huge map. Alright, consumers. Finchley, way all the way up there, all the way up there. You do over there, which is... yeah, it's up the way a little bit, and you do way, way over there. Okay. Now, the next thing... I'm going to park that idea for now. Who was the brick place? You were. Alright, so you have been cited for growth potential. We don't want roads, we want these. Now, can I build trams? Where is the overlay there? Let's So I don't normally play in 1850, so I don't actually know what's available. Okay, so they're just horse-drawn, 556. I'm just going to go straight for trams. They're just better in every way they could possibly be better than anything else. Alright, so I want you... There's a little road crossing here, so I always want to try and aim for about where the road crossing is for the tram stop. Alright, so we've got one in the industrial area. Stop in the residential area. We'll pop a stop right there. That's just absolute bare bones minimum to get this up and running. The trams are going to be a bit wonky as they go down there, but like this town will expand, so we'll fix it later. Alright, you... What do we want? They're all... Well, you're 20, so I might go with you. Wait, what's the 29, 29, 39? You know what? I'm going to stick with those just because of the cheaper operating costs for now. 1, 2, and 3. And I need to name the line because I always forget. Tram... Yes. Hill. I can name things good. Also unpause. Alright, so that's going to be losing me money for a little while now. But it will start to pay for itself. Or at least mostly pay for itself. The main thing is it needs... So, to do passengers, you're sort of going to start a local transit between itself, the towns, like between the town itself, before you can connect towns together. I may actually... I'm gonna hold off on it for now, but I'm gonna do it to there and there as well. Oh no, and then I can start thinking about linking these towns together. What would you do? What to do? Link up to that. No, you can just go... Oh, you could go straight to Rye. Because, yeah, the other track would be potentially be there, cut through the mountains. I think Burger Hill, the tracks could merge again. Or maybe have some kind of crosslink. Maybe a crosslink is the way to go. I'm not sure. We'll see. Or I could potentially make a big loop, like a big ring for these four, and then it fires off in a different direction and merges in. There's a few different options. Now, that thought that I had before. Now, boats. Cargo dock. Now, boats are soul-crushingly slow. So we want that as far as possible. You can just be in the middle, as long as your little tongues are touching the thingy. Like that. And then a third one, we're going to need a little bit of a road. Down like that. And hopefully that should... Yeah, it's lit up, so it means it's happy. Just a little something like that. And then maybe, perhaps, just as a matter of pedantry, bring that down a little bit more sensibly, like so. You gotta make it look nice, you know. Can't have it looking like crap. It's a bit of a hike, the final delivery up the hill, the imaginary delivery at that, but it gets the job done. I mean, it's apparently not my problem. Where's the lumber? It goes there, and then we go to there, and then we go to there. I think you're a 2 to... Yeah, you're a 2 to 1. But it's kind of dumb. Having it go all the way down to all the way back to all the way down to then go there. The whole idea is to at least have some of the return journey not carrying empty cargo. Making more use out of the... oh, that's right, it has to be into the shoreline. You get at least some return on investment on the empties. Alrighty. You're a tanker. Are all these three shared between all three thingies? You carry all that, and yeah, you'll be, oh, you're all 70, 70. Oh no, you're and passengers. Oh, Wilhelm. 22, 25, and 22. I'm going to go with a slightly faster one. And we'll pop 4 down for now. Send you on your way. Also, you... I need to be in the line. You need to be full load. And unpause. Alright, and let's watch the money dwindle away to nothingness. Are you also just sort of rubber banding back? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's shooting backwards as it deploys. Can you... not do that. Oh, it's Wally. How you doing? I'd prefer it if you lot didn't go to the other one, but they're trying to distribute themselves, so I might just deal with it. Oh, look at that already. Hey, how's it going? Long time no see. How was your stream? Two to 3 cups of coffee a day helps to keep the helps to protect the liver. Scientists don't know how yet. It just sort of happens. Yeah, protect the liver and sacrifice the heart. Yeah, what were you up to, Wally? Welcome in, though. We just started some Transport Fever too. We just set up some boats to start our first sort of initial transport lines. I reckon. Hopefully, I'm not overcommitting. It's a thing that I have a tendency to do. Where is that? There it is. I have a tendency to overcommit early on, and it costs. I always end up paying for it, ending up in either a death loop, or a death spiral, or something. That'll do it. Ah, you're on Captain of Industry. Nice. How far in are you? About there, right, bang in the middle. Then the oh, I'm not covering that, I don't think. It's just the bread factory down there is just a little bit far away. I'm gonna force the issue somewhat. There. That should help bring... Yeah, see, that's got the coverage going. And then right in there. Ooh, yellow lead pass. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, say. 1, 2, 3. That'll do. And this is tram Dorley. Dorley. Cool. That's getting into... you'll be approaching red construction parts then for yellow lab parts. Things start to really open up once you get into once you get regular supply of red construction parts. It's that sort of equivalent of the oxygen not included early mid-game phase where you're sort of chugging along, but you're still on a little bit on borrowed time before proper stability. Okay, yeah. I just splashed my coffee. Damn it. Yeah, it's you lot just need to nudge them a little bit faster. Yeah, you're empty, you're full. It's been a little while since I've been in Captain of Industry. I'm just trying to picture what it was, because it's a little difficult to get the red construction parts initially, but as you progress along, it gets easier. All right, how's our lines doing? Well, you're putting me very deep in the hole. The rock system is rocking along. Yeah, you're maxed out. That's fine. What I might do is do a little bit of a borrow. 3, 4, 5. Duplicate. We'll just get more horses on the job. Alright. Alrighty. The struggles. Yeah, the steel struggle. There's a lot of things that need to be done as it opens up. And steel's a bit of a challenge as well because... No, not steel. Steel isn't so bad. It kind of is. Shoot all yellow control. Yeah. Yeah, because... No. Yeah, I was right. I was thinking something else. But yeah, steel needs a lot of red construction parts. So you really struggle on construction parts in general as you're going through all these growing pains. But at the same time, you also need to change some of your other recipes over because they were using iron and they're a lot more efficient on steel, such as the gears. Where's my boaty boat? Oh, you need to maybe maybe make that like 120 seconds. Yeah, make that 120 seconds. So it'll sit there for a little while waiting for production to happen. And then it'll move on from there. How is that affected? Yeah, there we go. We're starting to see the stonks now. Trying to hold off on that until you can stabilize steel. Upgrading your ship bridge. Took 400 steel, so that destroyed... Yeah, there's just a lot of really expensive things to do. As I say, like there's the gears. There's something else that also switches over to steel, and I forget what it is. It's like iron become... You actually can downgrade your iron. And you only need like 1 or 2, probably 2 furnaces of iron once steel's up and running. Because it only goes into... What is it? Construction parts and something else. It's only like 1 or 2 or 3 consumers of iron once steel's up. Yeah, the white construction parts was... I want to say it was vehicle parts, but I think I'm wrong because I think I might be thinking of gears. Oh no, they do take steel. Oh yes, they have their alternate recipe. Need to go back to my playthrough. I haven't touched that in months now. Captain of Industry is the... I don't know what it is. Sometimes it can just be a bit hard to stay up with. Yeah, iron becomes pretty irrelevant. You still need a little bit. As I say, I'm pretty sure there was 2 or 3 things that still used it. I just don't remember what they were. Oh, rails. No, they use steel as well. Never mind. Look at that cargo. Cargo's keeping the dream alive. What else we have? You take bread. You take bread. What's your supplier of bread? Oops. Tumors is Dewey. Taunton. Burger Hill. That's a long way away. And Finchley's even longer away. And that's actually closer. I think Burger Hill was there. So that's basically the closest food hole. Right there. You take food as well, so that's not terrible. There is some local food to work with. Actually, I could set up the trifecta of goodness. Because this town takes it as well. Lurk for sleep. Alrighty. Have a good one. Thank you again for the raid, Wally. Have a good night. As I do the mental gymnastics for, for laying out this thing. Yeah, it's going to be expensive. Yeah, just like do a bit of that and then a bit of that. I think it might be a case. Oh, that's a steepy boy. That's a steep boy right there. Make you a little bit bendy. Sadly, there's a field in the way. There. I'm gonna have to go around the mountain, sadly. There. I mean, the horsies can survive a little bit of an incline, so that's not so bad. Kind of fortuitous that the game doesn't make you feed and water the horses, which would be a more realistic thing for 1850, is you would need to constantly stop and feed and water the horses. Watering the horses is of course much like in watering your pet in what's that game called? The farming game, you know what I mean. Where we always did the daily watering of the cat. Or was it a dog? I don't even remember. It's been a while. Stardew Valley, that's the one. Yes, you're gonna go into there, and then I'm gonna heave this over a giant ass mountain. Ooh, I actually kind of liked that combination right there until I lost it. About there. You know, it's a bit of a water slide coming down the other side. You come up over the hill and it's just just coast it down the hill. What's the issue? You have the curve of death as well. Oh, that's as steep as you want to be. I guess I am building a tunnel there then. Ideally I would like to not build it. Oh, there we go. We managed to carve it out of the landscape. Now I want to go that away. Like that. And likewise, I want to do that. Well, I didn't get any refund for it, but oh well. Alright, and now we want a truck station. We'll need one of each. I might make this 20. Blow so much money lifting all this terrain. That works. I mean, if I can avoid the hill, all the better. And again, if I can cram this as far away as possible. Alright, you need 10 and none, because you only need one platform. Actually, I think that only need one as well anyway. Oh. Right, and you just need... Oh, there's one over there. Right, so I'm going to need a stop there and a stop there. Oh, and potentially a stop here. Which means I need a medium street to link that up. Like that. Alrighty. Buildings. Road Zeppo. I'm going to pop it there. Just, you know, there's a fuel refinery here, so there's potential for more stuff later down the road. 64 and 64, so either of these will do. I'd say 8. New line. Please. Right there to right there. Full load as well. And then you're going to go to there, and then to there. So just deliver everything to the town and be done. So that way they're only spending, you know, getting double duty out of the vehicles. Right, how profitable are we? 1.6 million on the boats. Oh, the boats are early boats are amazing. They truly are. And I could probably pop in 2 more as well. Conceivably, I could try and ship some of that down as well. But I may end up... I think there's better ways of doing it. Sort of at this point, I'm better off, I feel like I'm better off just moving raw products to destinations. Right, so how much are you doing? 44. I mean, these are moving. It's only 55,000 though. This is why I don't really like doing road vehicles, because they don't really sustain themselves well. It's also hard to tell because the balance here, it's not really telling me much. That's what I sort of was hoping for this thing, is to get the long-term trends, because it gives you like a per month thing, and it always pays for the costs, and then it averages, comes back up again over time when it does this summary. Oh, I also forgot to set that to quarter speed. That's very important. We don't want the time running away from us too quickly, because stuff happens so quickly that you sort of need to slow it down a little. At the very least, get it down on half speed. 1 to 1 is a little fast. Now, what do our towns look like? So, Dewey is at 100. Hoddleston. Burgers. Belchy and Fanny. Ripton. Tavistock. I mean, they're all basically the same. But I think this one can be linked up to trams as well now. So I'll just make up a little bit of a ring, like that. We'll push the tram depot out of town as always. These should be industrial buildings, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they are. It's the residences are sensitive to noise, not so much the commercial and industrial. I always wondered why the game had residential, commercial, industrial for the longest time, because the game doesn't really articulate very well how they interact with each other, but they do actually interact with each other. It's like the industrial people work in the industrial. They go from the each person. Yeah, see, is working at the industrial factory. Then they'll go relax in the commercial district, and then they'll go back home. Or they'll go from their home and do some shopping. Yeah, see, they're shopping right now. And the idea is that I want them to pay me to transport them, so they don't need to walk. Or use their horse and buggy to go between. Their pocket buggy. It turns out the simulation's actually quite detailed. It's just, as I say, the game doesn't articulate this very well. That all this stuff needs to happen. Having said that, it probably does in the tutorial, I just sort of not paying attention. Right, give me money, please. Buy that. New line. The line needs stops before I can actually build it. Whoever would have guessed it. Velda, could you imagine that a transport line needs... a tram line needs stops before you can actually make use of it? goes between itself. There we are. Alright, we'll let that cook away for a little while. You went down there, then back up there. Here comes the convoy. Yeah, you're a 2-to-1 as well. Alright, now we just wait for things to happen. I think this is this boat system is definitely paying for itself. It's keeping the dream alive. Right, what do we got for other stuff we can move by boat? There's a steel mill here. There are some coal mines along the riverbank that I could potentially make use of. Because there's like some iron just here. Oil's actually another good one. It's not too hard to make fuel, but getting into sprockets doesn't hurt, or gears specifically. Yeah, because it just needs the wood sandwiches and steel beams to make sprockets. I don't know how much actually takes sprockets though right now. At the very least, just getting some steel going doesn't hurt. I think steel is also a, yeah, they're both 2-to-1. What's your consumer? That... Yeah, it was a box factory. Other one should be a box factory as well in theory. Yes, it is a box factory. That one depends on... oh, actually both take steel. Oh, that's potentially very convenient. I think they're too far apart for me to actually lash them together from a single boat dock. But it is... I see potential. I'm sort of just really looking for fairly achievable things in a local area. Like logs, sandwiches, spanners. Unfortunately, they don't go anywhere. Oh well. I think this steel mill would be a decent one to link up though, because yeah, coal mine, that's all reachable. That iron mine's a little too close for comfort. I'd like it to reach a little bit further. Like down here would be a better one. Yeah, iron, coal. Pretty decent. Oh, actually, how are you performing? I think they're still on their first movement. Does that mean it's actually making... It is. Alright then. Double it up. That's another thing that I don't normally do, is just really go ham with the horse and cart. And it seems stupid, but it does work. I mean, realistically, it is kind of dumb, but it does work. Alright, I need to make a decision on the steel mill concern. So... I suppose I could just get them to shuttle back to there. Potentially has merit. Maybe just like those two there. Yeah, I think that'll work. It really hinges on whether or not I can cheese enough distance all the way down to the shoreline, the waterline, the shore. Yeah, nah, it's not happening. There was another one that was, yes, so down here is another potential one. This one, however, should work. Yeah, that links up with the coal hole. Worst case scenario, I could take it down to here. Actually, where are your consumers? One there, one there, one there. Yeah, because I have a feeling that Senor Steel Mill here is probably not going to reach. See if I can really push it right to the limit. Straight road, please. Like that. Get the tongues. Because I think it's probably... Somehow it allows me to... Yeah, see, it stops there. So, yeah, it is a little too far away. Alright, so it's not going to be you then. So not you... Not you... Not you... Not you... Yeah, it's got to be you then. Alright. Boat hole, there. Boat thingy. Alright, we need some roads to link it all together. Once again. There. Line, new line. New line, I said. There to there. Although, could not connect. It's probably that. Yep, there it is. Okay. Make me blow money on fitting a much more properly set up bridge. So low. Hey Kay, haven't seen that in a while. Any updates in the last... No, not really. That I know of. Or that I recall. I think they did a few little asset things. I mean, they're making a move on Transport Fever 3 though, so it's not surprising there hasn't been anything. There we go. Alright, so now the boats can actually get under that bridge. Speaking of boats... yeah. Alright, that's got us coal. Now we just need some iron. Can we go back the other way? Potentially, no. But having said that though, Transport Fever 3 looks really interesting. I think they're going for a bit of it feels like they're going for a bit of a combination of City Skylines or even SimCity with the way things are looking. Alright, that'll be iron. Iron to steel one. Actually, while I'm at it, I don't think... oh yeah, I did do that. Never mind. Oh, that's all I can borrow. Away with ye. So now, we just got to hopefully make some money. not go bankrupt. Should be okay. I mean, the lumber line is really keeping the dream alive. Once the money starts really flowing, I might think about doing some passenger connection. Actually, how are the... No, none of the trams are making any money. That is... problematic. Why are you not shipping? Why are you full of bread? You're all full of bread. Why are you not empty? That ain't right. Oh, that's why. I screwed up. Yeah, that's why they were going into the town first. They're not supposed to be going into the town first. I guess it'll figure itself out eventually. It'll just take a little time, but it'll get there in the end. Right, how's our rocks doing? How's our rock concern? That one should have been performing... Yeah, it's performing... I mean, 54,000 isn't huge. At the end of the day, like... The maintenance is 177,000, so it's not really paying for it. I mean, it's not even paying for the loan interest. That's why I don't like trucks so much, or the horses at this point in the game so much. It's very rare for road vehicles on their own to even pay for the loan interest. So you inevitably always need something that can just generate a solid amount of income. That's where this lot comes in. And this lot here. Yeah, because the loan's maxed out. One of the next steps would be to get the brick up to Burger Hill. That should be a decent income. That'd be a train though, I think. Potentially extended along to St. Helens. It's going to be an expensive one. It's quite a decent line. Oh, the line can follow the river. It's just got to hop across the river somehow though. And I've got to wait for this line to sort itself out. But once it's sorted out, it should be okay. We'll get there. Just need the next little lumber to start appearing. Play the waiting game. Alright, there's the coal. Coal. Oh no, that's iron. Oh yeah, there's the boats lined up ready for their turn for collecting coal there. That'll at least hopefully... Well, it will spread them out a little bit. Where is that iron boat going? It's like ping-ponging across the different shorelines, trying to slam into the shoreline. This is tempting fate. Where do little minecarts go? They're like little ants. The 3 like little loops going on. Oh, they're coming out. Oh yeah, going in and out, out of there, in there, out of there. Whereas this one's looping around, and that one. No, that one. Yeah, it was that one was looping, and then this one. Oh, there it is. Yeah. I suppose it's sort of looping. Not really. The iron mine have no, I thought I had like little track things going on with it. But I think that was Machinki that had like the little tracks. There's another game we need to play again at some point. Machinki is a fun game. Although arguably it is let down by that whole token economy thing. There we go. Now we're starting to see some money flow. Yeah, most of them, when they get to here, they're probably not going to have anything in them. But that's fine. They're going to deliver like a little bit here, and a little bit whatever's left over into there. I mean, they're basically going past this one on the way out of town anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Actually, if anything, I should do a bit of that. Make their path a little bit easier. Should actually link this up to there too, to make that path a little bit more direct. I mean, ideally, it would be a straight line from there to there to there, but that costs money that I don't have. Speaking of, can we do 2 of these? We can. Excellent. I think that's actually further away than the other ship hole. Yeah, they just came out of there. Right, what are we looking at? Tram's actually almost making a profit. What have you... it's collapsed. Yeah, it wants to be 113. I guess it wants more done. It's interesting, that's only 26%. I'm not sure how to... It's always really low. I don't know how to improve it. I guess if you like live here, work there, and shop there, you never need to really get on public transport or anything. Never need to get on a tram because it's right there in front of you. Alright, now we should start seeing some good times. I suppose I could have made it one big line that does it alternates. So it goes to the coal, delivers to here, then goes to the iron, and then delivers here again. I sort of hate doing that though, because it tends to end up being a surge of one then the other. I like to sort of keep them separate. Alright, now that we're developing a little bit of money, I think it might be time to start investing in a cargo train. Just stick with 160, it's fine. I mean, I'm still tempted to reduce it down a little bit. Pop that there. Right, where is it all demanded? Of course there's a giant hill in the way. That would genuinely obliterate a lot of the town right there. Which is a little problematic. But if I can eliminate some distribution setup, that would be great. Burying itself so deep into the ground. Now. Right, let's move you out the way. Let's move the train stop out the way. The tram depot out the way. Right, extend you. Give it a little bit more into the center. And I think that'll do. I can expand this into a passenger area as well without too much trouble in the future. Immediately going into a tunnel. Such a crossing. So much crossing. I think that's generally holding it steady. There is a contour tool, but it's kind of hard to judge the height of things. Should generally be descending down. That. And at the same time, this needs to come this way. And yeah, it should stay relatively level as long as I stick to the river and just keep it to not too large of a section. I'm also not really paying attention to the speed limit because the speed limit is not going to matter for a very long time. Oh wait, the bridge should be right here. Case in point. Alright, there we are. I just redo this bit to smooth it out a little bit. What was that? 181, 247. I don't know why that costs more. You'd think an embankment would be cheaper. Savigor. Alright. How much that cost? I think it only costs like $1 million. Only cost like $1 million. Right, what do we got? Cargo type. Bricks. 68, 70, and 70. So 7, 7, and 4. So the lowest emission is also... yeah, sort of more expensive to operate. Right, how much do you demand? How much do you demand? 27. It's actually not that much. How much do you demand? 25. Interesting. This may be a bad idea. I'm gonna go with a cheaper one. 16... 7... It actually isn't worth doing the smaller one. Because this is 203 for 7, and this is 116 for 4, so I'd be paying more But 2 of these compared to 1 of these. There's also 19 versus 33, so 19 would be 38-ish, maybe 36. It's still like 36 accounting for the loss of 1 cargo, but it's still more expensive than that. What does that is? 7, 14, 21, 28, maybe 5. Let's see, power 70, 66, 60, and 140. 60, 66, 70. $258, 36, 40, 43. It's expensive to run, but I think the 6 wheels is the way to go. Of course, it would help if I actually added it to the train. Alright, now hopefully you actually make me some money. Hopefully. Real question, is it worth me adding more trucks to this thing? Maybe. Let's add 4 more. What's the worst that could happen? Other than it overloading and slowing everything down. Your coal, your iron. I mean, eventually this is going to overload on coal. I mean, you have 4 ships and you have 3 ships. Should probably bring this one up to... Well, I need to bring both of them up anyway. But I'll bring them up in number of ships. Right, how are our lines doing? Yeah, 2 million. It's just the lumber boat. It just keeps the dream alive. That's the power of backhauling as well, compared to like the iron and the coal ones. Yeah, the coal's not backhauling, so it's just struggling so much more. Even the food is doing quite well. I mean, the rocks is also doing quite well. Food, it's kind of backhauling. It's sort of like that with Railroad Tycoon. You want your train backhauling as much as possible. You don't really want to be running a train not doing anything. Except in Railroad Tycoon, you can switch the consists out. So you can have it, like you'd have a train take coal from the coal mine to then pick up the steel from the steel mill to take it to the factory to take the goods to a town or a port, and then run empty back to the coal mine. And it lets you switch out the cars to suit the cargo for each of the deliveries, for a fee, of course. It's like 2,000, I think. There's actually another thing we need to do. We need to do a Railroad Tycoon run at some point. It's a fun little game. There's actually a few older games that I want to try out. Because the Steam sale's on, I saw like Commander Keen, the remake of Crystal Caves, and a few other Apogee remakes are on sale. There's a few of them that I like. Because Commander Keen, if you were around in the time, you would have played Keen 1 and Keen 4, because those were shareware games. But I never played I think it was Keen 2 and 3. They were a bit of a weird one. So I've never actually played those before. I'm going to finally give those a go. Finally. Similar story with Secret Agent, which I do remember having a shareware copy of, but I never really played it properly. It was Secret Agent and another one. They were basically just Crystal Caves again. There were variations on those games. But I never played the full version, so I want to give those a go. Finally committed to it and give it a go. There's remasters of them, which is a great benefit. Yep. Alright, how are we doing here? I should get some trams going in there too. See, the town wants to expand. Yeah, the town wants to expand. What was... Oh, country. Wondering what it was. I just never really paid attention to those symbols for the filters before. I have no idea what all of it means. Let's pop you there. Pop you there. There. Uh-oh. You got absorbed into that. That's not a good sign. Yeah. Places existing. Oh, yeah, because it's in that... Ah, I never really noticed that before. Or maybe I never... Or maybe I've been reminded because I've forgotten. I never really considered that as a thing that the game might do. If it's in the same leg, it'll delete it. It's inconvenient because it means I can't put a thingy there. You cover all that, you cover all that. And you need to cover... Maybe up this street is the way to go. No, it's not really. Alright then. Get rid of you. Pop it there. And then I can pop that there. You know what? I'm going to reverse the direction of it. Reason being, I don't want them flowing on the same direction. That one's... no, it isn't. I don't think. I'll go to the effort of it anyway. That one's fine. That means you go there. Like that. And I think that's it. This line is now going to be a complete mess. Yeah, they're all very much crossing over each other. Yeah, and these are still sharing the same lane, but that's... I mean, it's better. Better than it used to be. Alright, what's our stats look like? We're a horrendous mix of buildings is what we are. Okay. Well, as always, we'll chuck you well out the city. Like that. Light up some tram lines. And there we go. Don't actually know exactly how many I need, but I'll guess it. What are we at? North Twatton. North Twatton. There we go. Oh, 4 million. How's our train doing? 93,000. I mean, the fact that it only has 0 out of 7 means it didn't actually take that much the first time. Right, how's this thing look? Steam engine is how it looks. Away we go. It's doing a pretty decent speed. It's up to 40. It's up to its top speed. We'll also enjoy the scenery while the ad break goes on. I really just want to see how much it slows down going up the hill. And if I need to smoothen out the hill a little bit. Because this train doesn't have a lot of power. Actually, while I'm at it, yeah, I'll just pay down some of the loan while we're waiting. Get that. I mean, 100,000 loan interest is something you don't really want. So I'll pay it down. Oh, we lost the window. How are we doing? We're still at 40. How quiet you. So one of the annoying things about this game is that, yeah, there we go, 39, 38, 37, now we're going up the hill. Yeah, one of the annoying things with the game is that at quarter speed, the vehicles still age at the same rate. I kind of wish the age also stayed, the age progression also was reduced by a quarter. That way I don't have to constantly replace them. How does that look? I wish there was some grade indicators, like the relative grade indicators, like on, I suppose, like on Railroad Tycoon, or many other train games, so you can see what the incline looks like. Yeah, I mean it's stuck at 40. That's pretty good. I reckon I could add another wagon to that actually. The town absorbed it all. I didn't actually see what the money was, but it was obviously a lot. Which one was that one? It's a risky play. Bring it up to 49. We'll see how we do. It should be able to move it. Yeah, see, it's coal's maxed out now. Potentially means... oh, they're all coming. Potentially means that some of these coal boats are going back full. Yeah, there's the next flotilla of iron. We'll see what this one does. Like, I'm sort of expecting it to go back full. Nope, it actually absorbed it. Oh no, it's not actually full. 400, 400. It may actually be full. I don't know. I'm not actually sure what the max storage even is. I thought it was already like near its maximum, but I guess not. It's possible. Like I saw half of this thing full, so I was like, oh, maybe that's already full, but no, not to be the case. What about you? You're also coal, and you're iron. Okay. Put another couple of boats on it on the task. Paying it down. What's our loan at? 5.5 million. Starting to really pay down the loan. It's making some good progress. What's the, yeah, the first train line, 500,000 right there. That's decent. Stocking up on all the coal. I imagine it would exclamation mark once it actually overloads. Yes, that half becomes iron, and there it goes. Alright. Making some good progress. Now... Any... Oh, that's right. Food was way up here. Yeah, that's all this jazz. How was that line doing? Actually, what is that one? Ah, that one. Tavis talk. Where are you? Ah, that's the food hole one. That's why I couldn't spot it. Yeah, food one. Oh, it's barely profitable. It's more of an attempt at growing the town than it is something actually useful. I suspect going over the hill is a bit of a problem. Eee, look at it go. See if we can tunnel underneath. Got 3 million now, so I think we can optimize this path a little bit. Make it a little bendy just for good measure. Go there. There. Yeah, it just pushes the vehicles out the way when it's like that. They're actually rather high up. Oh, there it goes. Wasn't dragging there for a moment. Alright, extend you out a little bit that way. You down, please. Yeah, just sit there. Damn it. Sit there, please. Perfect. Now, not that away. Go that away. Like that. Can you, like, maybe sink down into the ground a little bit? I think that'll do. Yep, 1.5 million. Money well spent. Make it straight. Go do away with that. And there we go. Perfect. Alright, now I just need to replace this thing. Let's see. Truck stop. 1 and 1. Although I don't think it was actually using them. But I'll replace them. I'll make it 20 meters as well. Probably gonna suffer replacing those, but we'll see how we do. Right, so that's to make them a little bit quicker, and you can see the scar from where the road once was. And this lot's been pushed back here, and is now gonna traverse the now extremely long tunnel. It's a little bit out of place because we're sending horses through it. I actually want to manage the line. Load if available. Say 60 seconds. This game drove you nuts for about 15 hours trying to make money. Yeah, it's definitely got its quirks. It really makes you work to make money. The thing that I found with it, it's a bit of a different thinking to other games of this sort of genre. Right, how long are you going to sit there for? Lower that to 30 seconds. Because it's only ever going to get like 2 out of 4 most of the time. Kind of accounts for a bit of its inefficiency in the line. And why it's not making that much money is that it's not really moving that much. Yeah, like you can, in OpenTTD, for example, you can dive straight into a fairly... Hey! Rain. I'm coming in with that prime.
Dalamarian just resubbed for 1 month.
Exactly. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, the in OpenTTD you can set up passenger lines and start really crank out money between 2 or 3 towns without much effort very early on. Whereas this game really sort of forces you to build up local transport in between a town first before you're allowed to make any... Before it really lets you make any money going in between towns. So I always set up some trams to sort of help shuffle things around, get this usage up, and then as people start wanting to go longer distances, then set up the trains. Hey Nugs, really paved parking lot with electric lights, and they have horse and carts. Yeah, it's one of those details. The truck stop, the truck stops, and the bus stops for that matter. These road depots don't. You can actually even see it's got the cobblestone here, but the stop itself doesn't progress in time. It's just always modern. There's quite a few that are actually like that. Like even the factories themselves don't progress in time. Like this is got lighting and all that. Lighting and security fences and barbed wire and pallet jacks, which are more than a little bit out of place. Even the towns are at times a little bit quirky. Like and for 1850, having, you know, plausibly deniable brick buildings with very rusty tanks, which are not as plausibly deniable, and drums of reels and pallet jacks, sort of throw the illusion off a little bit. It's actually one of the things that I'd like to see with Transport Fever 3 is a little bit more attention to detail in that regard. Because from what I've seen in the videos, it seems like that's the sort of direction that they're going in, is more hyper-realistic detail. The tram, just doing a U-turn on the middle of the street like that. It's funny to watch. I try and avoid that normally, just so you don't have to see it, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Alright, what's our profit? Hey, it's the iron is doing the work now. Lumber's actually, I think it's the beginning of the month though. Oh, it sort of has a regular payback. Actually, how much are we transporting? 18%. What do you look like? Not much. Just chuck more on it. But yeah, going back to why I started this, it was well, apart from being something different for a little while, I wanted to try out a few ideas that I'd had from one of the last playthroughs I did, where I'd sort of linked. I started building cargo stations into every town's train station. So every town would have a passenger and a cargo train station to deliver goods. and that cargo was coming from little hubs. So I was finding industries or factories like this that was producing like town goods, and finding clusters of them and putting like a train station to pick up these goods and then distribute it to all the different towns. So what was happening was that I was delivering to towns like the bread and the bricks, what have you, all at the same time. And it was printing money. Don't think you've ever made much money with ships. They're so expensive and slow. You can, ships, you need some moderate distance. That kind of out-of-time infrastructure is just annoying to see, and it tends to destroy the aesthetic. It does, yeah, I agree. Which can be fine if that's a part of the story, but unacceptable if it isn't clear intent. Yeah, it's just a lack of variety in the assets. Like the fixed buildings, you can see the fixed buildings that don't have variation compared to the towns. Like the towns are what, at a macro level, change their style over time. So like these buildings are very representative of the era that we're in right now. Whereas the factories, there's a little bit of plausible deniability, but as soon as you zoom in, like pallet jack and cable drums. But if you zoom out and look over here, you don't notice it. So I sort of tolerate it in that regard, but yeah, it always put me off that the oil refinery has your stainless steel tanks and your parking lot and lighting and all that in the 1850s when it and the barrels, which I think are post World War II. The thing with ships is to backhaul, I've found. So a good example of that is the lumber here. It's going all the way down to the lumber mill here, or the sawmill here. And then the ships are backhauling the processed logs to a tools factory here. So part of the return journey, they're still making money. And there's only a smaller segment where they're not actually running empty. And that seems to be a big thing with this game, is you don't want to be running empty as much as possible. You always want cargo to be moved somewhere. As I say, it's a bit of a different style of thinking. Hey, Mr. Via, how you doing? Ends up being a bit of a change of plan. I wanted to do the soldering. I was originally going to do soldering today, but I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. I really wanted to start up some Transport Fever. Now's a perfect time to pick up the game. Oh, it's 90% off. Yeah, now's a great time to grab it. Grab some of the DLC as well, like the deluxe version, because I think that's quite cheap. Yeah, the game is sort of... It's kind of weird, because the game is set up to be 1850s, but it's also set up to be, like, 2005. It very heavily focuses on the 2005 to 2015 sort of period. Maybe even post-war. It sort of focuses heavily on post-war era. Because there's a lot of aesthetics that fits that sort of period. I mean, the factories still don't really quite fit. They're a little too new for post-war, but it's a lot closer. Like, you're not going to have skip bins in post-war times, but it sort of deals with it. £90 £3.35. I thought it was like 40 or 50. Alrighty. What's the next little odd job we can do? It's looking like I need to start getting into fuel. There's an oil refinery, oil well, plastic. They're all very close though. What I need is a fuel refinery. Where is Le Fuel Refinery? That end of the map. Where's the other one? Middle of the map. That's It's a decent hike away. Oil is a decent one as well for early trains. I found too. It can print some money decently. Even without backhauling. Deluxe upgrade is 85. Oh yeah. 5 AM. That would do it. Let's see. Yeah. Normally, oh, for me it's 56. Now it's 5.85, and yeah, deluxe $7 from 70. So yeah, definitely worth grabbing. Definitely worth grabbing. It is a good game to get into. I mean, it is a little bit of a thing, but it is fun. Now, where was I? So, refinery. Fuel refinery is all the way back there. And maybe an oil well there. Dawley Oil Refinery. Tumors. Dawley Oil Refinery. Something you've got to watch out for is that not all industries will go with all suppliers. So that's why I'm keeping an eye on it. Now, what we want is a train station. Let's do a normal cargo station. Make it 2 tracks. And yeah, so I'm sort of eyeballing this one over here, even though there's an oil refinery there. It's going to pay substantially more for me to move it at the much longer distance, so I get more money out of it. Which is a top tip. If you want to make more money, run cargo much longer distances. Like, run them across the map if you can. I don't think it's quite practical at this period of the game, but it is a substantial boost in money. Yeah, I just need the tongues to touch a road. Just something like that. So hopefully get this train station to actually connect. There we go. Now, I mean, it's pointing in the exact wrong... Well, it's not really pointing in that much of a wrong direction, but it's a little bit inconvenient. Right, you go there. I'm just going to punch through the mountain like that. I'm going to come all the way over here and chuck... Go away. Another thingy right here. Or not. Instead, I'm going to have to build a little bit of road, and then a little bit of road, and screw it. Yeah, I don't need to spend money on that. There we go. Now I can make my straight line. That is... Yeah, contours... Contours can be a little difficult to sort of eyeball. I mean, at least it's running downhill with the full load. That is an advantage. Never quite liked that about transport games where distance equals money. It would be more interesting if the longer the distance transport reduced demand for the product because the higher the product cost, so it only works to make a lot of money early on. I can see why it's done, but yeah, you sort of in the real world you sort of want to disincentivize long distance transport. If anything, you want to make money on long distance transport of the secondary industries, and you want to encourage short haul for primary. So, like, for example, the steel mill. What I'm envisioning is the steel mill. You want the coal mines and the iron mines fairly close to them. whereas the consumers of either the raw material, the steel output, or the even the final products, you want to be much further away. Sort of like how it would resource hubbing. Yeah, that's sort of the vibe I was sort of going for, was to collect industries together into a common point and then distribute out. It was something that I found, one of the things I found in one of my previous games was that by having this sort of central cargo point for distributing to local towns, things just went insane. Number started really going brr. Alright, let's pull that back to there. I probably don't need to worry about the arc that much, but speedy number is always attractive. There we go. Now a little bit of track. Yeah, I'll do it here. Just do it one way to force the train to go to the oil well. What do we got? 70, 70, 9, 12. Well, you're 12 years, so that's convenient. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, what do we got for locomotives? So you were 70. That one was a bit the general. 130, 45. It's got the power. May not need it though. 476, 288. It was sort of like that with one of the things that OpenTTD or Transport Tycoon did was that it had cargo payment rates where the longer it took to deliver, the less it would pay. And in theory, it incentivized short haul deliveries. Just thinking. So you're 40 for 70. This is almost double. I might pop that on it. And then maybe not pour. Go there. One and then 2. Let's focus in on you. It just goes up the hill. It chugga-chugs up the hill. Now, continuing on with that thought. Yeah, in theory, with the cargo payment rates, what they are in Transport Tycoon, you would want to move things as quick as possible in the shortest distance possible to get the most out of it. The problem is it doesn't quite work that way. And you end up using generally trains to move as much as physically possible, as fast as physically possible. And so on the original map size, moving from like a coal mine to a power station pays an absolute redonkulous amount of money, even though there's a power station right next to the coal mine. So what you're saying is something like this. Oh, it's a wood burner. Oh yeah, makes sense. The spark funnel. Yeah, wood burner. Well, I saw wood there. It's happily chugging along at 45. As I say, it's all downhill, so I don't foresee this train having any issues. I got a little, that's the stat counter. Yeah. 5 hours? Oh, because it's on triple speed. It would have been 5 hours of real time, so that's interesting. I'm potentially considering some passenger trains, but I don't know if it's worth it yet. The early trains are kind of terrible. Is that a bear? Running towards the train. Now it's running away from the train. Now we're going up a bit. The idea would be more coal you only ever make. Yeah, you get paid by the load. And distance doesn't matter. You have to make your money, keep the travel short, so you have a low maintenance, or use transport method that has much lower maintenance. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what you mean by the boats, is that you can move a lot of stuff really cheaply. Which is what they would do with barges of coal. Boats can move a lot of stuff very cheaply, but very slowly at the same time. Whereas something like refrigerated, you would be paid by a moose. You would be paid more, or for getting it there, getting it to the destination as quick as possible. An example of that would be fish. You want that to get from A to B very, very quickly. Alright, so you've lost 500,000 so far, as we just bosh our way through trees. So many. The game loves tunnels. It loves just carving up the landscape. Oh, we're down to 21. I didn't realize this was going uphill as well. Yeah, it is. That's actually a lot of uphill. It's just really hard to tell the height in this. Yeah, I made the last leg a little bit of a struggle. Now I could have just gone round that way. Alright, what do you give us? 500,000 in the hole. 2 million in the positive. Yeah, it's cheaper to make a tunnel quite often, which was quite a surprise to me. Thought I didn't expect that to be a thing. Yes, it's smoothed that hill out a little bit. Particularly for the 1850, you know, blasting your way out of a tunnel, you'd think would be quite expensive. Right, so that should have really helped with that. Height level. Alright, what do you look like now? Yeah, it's a little bit smoother. For the purposes of the game, I don't mind that it's instant, but like that's 1.6 million. That's 2.62 million to not obliterate the to just obliterate the mountain. It seems kind of odd. Yeah, it's just shockingly cheap. Similar story too with oh good, the train wasn't there. I was worried that the I'd push the train out the way, or I'd trap the train, but it would probably yell at me if that was the case. So the cost of a tunnel should be like double what it is. It's one of those delicate balancing acts though, because in Transport Tycoon, to refer back to that again, the cost of a tunnel is comparable to flattening the entire mountain. So more often than not, it's easier just to flatten the mountain than it is to build a tunnel. Stop complaining. Like tunnel says, stop complaining. I mean, it is nice. And I do like the way the track cuts through the countryside most of the time. That's a bit of a steep one. It's the fact that I don't have height indicators is probably what does it for me. Or what kills it for me. Grade indicators would make life so much easier. I think that'll do it. Alright, let's smooth this out, hopefully. That's not smoothing it out at all. Basically the same. The other thing too is just being able to, again, this is sort of crossing into realism versus gameplay. Being able to undo a tunnel and then redo a tunnel. But as I say, it starts crossing into that realism versus gameplay territory. Oh yeah, build a headquarters. Yeah, now it's sunk into the ground a little bit further. I think the tunnel's popping out a little bit sooner too. Cheaper and easier to do short parts of tracks, but it's slow. Yeah, at least early on it's generally easier just to do short, simple little sections. It's just the game doesn't give you a lot of tool. Like, you get the contours, but that's about it. And like, oh, that's yeah, 100 meters. I think that's meant to be 2 meters, and that's meant to be 10 meters. I don't know really. Yeah, see, it's the end of the day. At the end of the day, you need a balance between the right amount of simulation. Yeah, no one wants to go outside of the town yet. I mean, part of that is also induced demand. Alright. Just chuck it right here. passenger station. Yeah, 1. Or passenger terminus. Let's get you out of the way. And pop it. We'll say there. And a passenger station. Where do I want to chuck it? You're going to come round this way. It's probably going to follow this track as well. Let's, yeah, I'll chuck it over here. Yeah, oh, there's a bus stop here too as well, which is convenient. Unfortunately, I'm going to obliterate a lot of buildings. That's sort of the way it goes. Yeah, then I can link up to that. And I'll need to double track it. But it's at least a little bit of infrastructure recycling right there. Yeah, it's like the giant bridge of bridginess. Got a little bit of the old double track going. And remember that I've done it the wrong way around. Can't go under, go over. Or could just go straight through with a bulldozer. Good enough. Now what do you look like in terms of speed? 58. Bad is the answer. Okay. Sometimes the slip's a winner, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just straight up don't know that slips exist. Game. Can we not play that game of where the bridge pillars go? And realistically, I'm probably going to put multiple trains on here anyway, so I might as well just extend it all the way to the station. Dedicate double tracks like we do with left and right hands on road. One coming, one going. Yes, so that's what I'm doing now. Well, you, I know not going to be that. Well, actually, it could be. It could go that way. Now, I got to remember how to use the auto signal. There we go. You didn't replace. Very well then. So yeah, I'm setting this up as a I probably didn't want it 800 meters apart. Maybe I'll bring it down to 500. Yeah, AutoSig is a mod that lets you automatically place the signals down a line. There we go. Nope. supposed to be removing forwards. Or am I remembering how to use this thing wrong? Ah, there it goes. Backward. Forward, yes. You actually don't want a signal right there, because the train will pull through and block the road. Let's find the equivalent point there. Turn it off, there and there. Yeah, you actually don't want that signal there. Instead, I want to rely on that one. So the train can slide forward. The signals in this don't rely... They're different to most other games. You ever get into planes? I don't think I've ever really done planes. Apparently they need a really long distance to be effective though. Which is why I've sort of never really done it. Like, you need to go from one corner of the map to the other using planes for them to really be of any benefit. Alrighty. Now just fill in all the spaces. Just do the old hop in and hop out. Hop and bop. Signals drive you nuts in every game. They can be a little frustrating in this game, but they don't work like in Factorio or to a lesser extent OpenTTD. They're a lot more forgiving. It doesn't rely on absolute blocking, is what they would call it. It is path based. So if a train isn't in the way, or if one train isn't in the way of another, the train is clear to pass through. Oh, that plugs in there. That's convenient. What it means is that signals in this, once you wrap your head around it, it's a lot simpler. 40, 40, 45, 55, and 55. So that's probably the one to go with. 40, 40, 50. I suspect it doesn't matter. 14, 28. We'll go 2 for now. And that will be our first main passenger line. Trains are smarter, whereas Factorio trains are very stupid, so making them smart means ensuring the only thing they can do is the smart thing. Yes. If any, they're kind of smart on the same level as... I'm hesitant to say it, because it's not really true. They're smart on a similar level to Captain of Industry, because Captain of Industry takes this sort of path thing and simplifies it even further. And Captain of Industry doesn't have signals. Yeah, so there's only 3 and 4 for the immediate destination. So there isn't a huge incentive to really run a lot of trains yet. And this is why early passenger trains don't make money. You, however, are printing me money. Yeah, the lumber line is the lumber boats are the ones that are really doing the work, and to a lesser extent the iron, which isn't surprising. The lumber from there to there to there, again, it's a fairly sizable distance, and that's why it's making money. But also the backhaul. The iron is definitely distance-based, because iron pickup is there, and then the drop-off is all the way over here. If I was to take it further, it would be even better. Like if I was able to bring it down to the steel mill here, all the way down here, I'm basically transporting it across the map, which is pretty huge. Right, so we're linked into there. I do want to bump into that. I would like this to go over to there. Actually, no, I'll make it merge into here as a common point. Like, as like a common town. Then they split out again to there and there. This one goes out to there. You come round to here. You go out to there. There and there. Maybe ring around? I don't know. Maybe just terminate there. Yeah, maybe Tavton is the terminating point. I mean, I'm already trying to grow it with the food, so it has the benefit there. What am I looking for? You. Build. Just pop it there for now. The old starter ranch. Train full of lumber, then one coal, one iron, and you're making money to work on a town. Yeah. It's similar for me, although I tend to focus on oil. Find a good oil run that's decently achievable. That's actually the next step I need to do, is bring it down to the fuel refinery. And that also ties into running the line down to Twatton. How I'm going to do that, I'm not entirely sure yet. What have we got? Oh, industry's down there, commercial's there. What I might do is relay the town a little bit, just to make it a bit easier for me, since I got the money. And maybe just square that up there, and then there, and a little bit there. And then we can have a station. I don't know if this will be... let's not get carried away yet. Let's plop you there. Two. Actually, where's the fuel? It can go around the back of the town, maybe. It gets the fuel refinery. I mean, this line hasn't really done much yet. Yeah, I did want 2 tracks, never mind. I is thinking dumb. Right, what would it take to just drag and drop? What would it look like? It's not happy with the situation. It's not happy with those roads. Not happy with that road. I mean, it's deep underground. It's not really happy. There's a lot of issues with that road there too. That's not the end. That's the end. It doesn't tell me what the height is. If there was a mod or something that told me what the height was, that would be amazing. Another tunnel. Good enough. Balls. Alright, let's take that. And then that. Bridge pillar collision. Oh. How high are we? We are pretty high up. One of the things I kind of hate is how much it loves building just giant bridges across the countryside. Yeah, oil into fuel is a nice one, and it's not too difficult to get going early on, which is why I like it. This one, however, actually, peel it back a little bit. Yeah, 286, and then to do a cutting, it's 500. I mean, that's a little extreme for a cutting. Maybe make that a tunnel again, and then I'll maybe not go back quite as far this time. So we'll make a cutting. It's a deep cutting. Was it 169 versus 84? Yeah. I think I'm on the wrong side too. Yes, I am. I remember at times I do that. Happens a lot. Annoyingly, the solution is to redo this bit. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, I suppose in that case a hole would be cheaper than moving so much at the ground. I think that does actually link up. Cool. Alright, signals. One way, yes, and yes. Alright, let's expand this thing so I can have a return journey through the other way. Now I can plug it in. How long have we gone for? I haven't even been paying it. Oh, way past what would be considered break time. Should probably set this up and then call for a break. Yeah, now the line's going to be very upset. That's going to upset it even further. Me trying to manually place signals. Fortunately, these signals, to get them on the wrong side, or the correct side even, means they appear graphically opposite to where the game thinks they are. And so it can be a real mess trying to manage it. There we go. Cool. Get busy. Just start to see people. Oh, 18 want to go to the other town now. Yeah, it builds up over time, so it takes a little while for it to really pay for itself. I mean, it sort of already is. What are you doing? You know what? I have to extend it. duplicate it. Actually, that's one thing that needs to be done, is a signal. It's not one way, and we don't want any auto-sig. I just want that there. That way, when the train's coming down this way, it doesn't reserve this junction and stop the passenger trains while it's pulling through. Do you actually stop? No, you're on your way to the new one. It's committed. There it is. Be interesting to see what sort of money it pulls over time. You bought so many automation and management games this sale. It's actually interesting because I've done the opposite. I've actually become very picky about automation games and factory games in general. I think part of it is because I bought so many sim games and I've just not really done anything with them. 91,000. Again, it probably takes a little while for this leg to really sort itself out. There's a game which was all like you'll land on a planet and you have to start mining resources. It was kind of interesting, and it's on sale. I was like, eh. Foundry as well. Kind of interesting, but also kind of eh. That's the thing too, is there's a lot of games and not a lot of time to play them. I have learned, still haven't. Yeah, I think it was that... what was it called? It was a card-based city builder. It was kind of interesting, but endgame was just, it sort of falls apart. And then there was another one that was just like a Banished alike again. And it actually received updates the first time in years, and it's still like, don't care. Still underground. Oh, hello train. 65,000. Decent. A lot of them basically reskin, yeah. Not Dyson Sphere, but yeah, Dyson Sphere I've tried. And once you get to the end of it, it's just, And I don't know if I care for the Dark Fog stuff. Like, I get it as having some kind of antagonist to the world, but I don't know if it gels very well with gameplay. Admittedly, though, I probably never got deep enough into it to really get the most out of it. What was it called? Yeah, there was that one. Patron. What was the other one? Kingdoms Reborn. That one. It was an interesting card-based city builder, but yeah, There's also Foundation, which again, meh. Didn't like the Dark Fog at all. Yeah, the interesting thing from what I've seen of it is it either is this constant oppressive thing that you can't deal with, or it's so much not a threat that you basically keep it compressed into a single quadrant of the galaxy. And it's just a non-issue. Right, how's our line doing? Yeah, it's down to the 3,000 at the minute. Oh no, that's tram. that one? 65, 112. Actually, 17 minutes though. It's hopping around like crazy. Yeah, apparently frequency is what really matters for passengers as well. It's down to 32 going up this hill. But yeah, as the thing as the thing sort of progresses, more destinations between different towns, money should go up. Yeah, there's an enemy that's called the Dark Fog. It came out and it's a thing. It's depends on who you ask. It's either meh or it is enjoyable. They also added a tier 2 miner, which was a big problem late game, is setting up miners. Yeah, that was a big problem. Just the game becoming Outpost Simulator. Right, you'll need trams next. You'll need trams next. Flyers here. Okay, you're sort of... Yeah, you're getting brick though. Right, before that though, we need to take a break for a moment. I'm gonna set the train up like that while I go for a few minutes. Go on break for a few minutes. So don't go too far. We should be back shortly and enjoy this little train ride in the meantime. Bam. Hopefully you can see it through all that. Alright. Bam. We are back. Let us continue on while I fumble with the headset. Right, how are we doing on this line? Where's my pointy doos? Hello? There we are. There. How are we doing now? So, again, lumber leading the charge. Iron, not far behind, then coal. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look, the PAX is starting to really come into its own. Let's add a third one. Alright, I think now is time to really start investing in it. So, let's extend out this line. Ripton. Where is the good stuff? The good stuff is here. Yep. You go there. You extend up that way. I'm still kind of tempted to have like a little link run across there, but I don't know if it's really necessary. It's a bit of a we'll see. I might just sort of account for it and then see what happens in the future. But I'll give it a little bit of room just in case on the back. And I'll give it a couple of lanes in the station. Alright, so you're going to go there. Yeah, then you do smash directly into that. Alright, how do you look? Probably could benefit from going up a little bit, maybe. Just a little bit. Actually, that would work. Yep, there we go. Good enough. I'm probably still overthinking it. I just want to try and keep it flat as possible. Thank you, autosave. Yeah, I have a feeling after a while this save's going to start to chug. It's a bit of a speed bump there. There we go. I'm going to indulge in the embankment just to keep it, keep the speed up. It's not going to need it yet, but eventually it will. Again, it would be amazing if I knew what the height was. Like, is it going up? Is it going down? I don't really know. Where's the other end there? Probably going to collide with that. Then we need to do that. Just going to be a little low. Yeah, see, it's blocking the waterway. I think. Oh no, that's fine. Right, let's cancel it, start over again. From memory, the game... Yeah, it's trying to drop down in there again. would be much preferred. There. My boats do need to get across and all. And there. Alright, what do we got? We got another giant tunnel. Oh dear. It's a bit of a trying to think of what it would be. It's a bit of a... Like, if I don't do a hilly terrain, then, you know, there's no real challenge to the track. But if I do the hilly terrain, it ends up just burrowing giant tunnels for everything. And I sort of don't want that. Yeah, parliamentary elections today and tomorrow, but you get no food. Oh, you don't get your sausage. Important part of the electoral process. Even though it never used to be, well, that and the snacks and things that they would do the whatchamacallits. Have like a scout club or something that's just selling homemade stuff, or at least these days pre-packaged stuff. You to buy when you go vote. I have a feeling that's a bit of an incline. I have a feeling I was right. Yeah, see, I want to really just follow the contour. Right, how's that? Probably terrible, but oh well. Just realized it just pulls the entire thing out of the way. And this is where I once again discover that I've gone the wrong side. It's technically true. There it is. Trying to remember where I parked the other lane. Somewhere here I can peel it back. Alright. Continue building this up. There we are. Alright. So I'll do the final curve. Do the final curve. Like that. And I can do a little bit of something something here. And a little bit of something something here. I'm probably going to make use of the other platform for now. Right, you go there. Ah, autosig. It makes this entire process completely bearable. And there we go. Conceivably, I should have a depot somewhere around here. Actually, no, you can't do like triple way junctions and things. Closest would be something like that. And maybe something like that. But yeah, it interferes with that one. So I guess I can live without. Realistically, what's going to happen is this station's going to expand quite a bit. And then a much more complicated junction is going to be put in its place. Alright. But I do like the depot idea. What were we? We were a Russian and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going there. And then there. Cool. Right, I'll just check the platform. Yeah, the platform's correct. And away you go. Oh yeah, because I duplicated that one. I was like, why is that train coming out of there? Yeah, I just made it. The game had been paused that entire time. I'm at 1/4. 1/4 speed. Generally play the game at 1/4. Depending on where I'm at the game, I may speed it up or even set it to pause. Probably at some point I'm going to turn it up to double speed. Just to progress things along and get some better vehicles going, like get the electric trams going. And then I'd probably slow it right down, maybe even pause it again. There's sort of some phases... Oh, hang on, I want trams. There's sort of some phases where different things need to happen. Alright, so we've got the industrial way out this way. Link that up. Alright, cool. Helps if I actually do the line. Down. Like this map, I always played with the edges of the map border and made the ships a pain going around. Yeah, there's some niceties to the tropical style map, whereas the temperate one, the rivers make for some nice options for boats down rivers. So you would bring things into the rivers and then let the boats do their work. I need to do that as well. Tram Ripton, even though it's Ripon. And 1 unit of train. Expand that once it's done a few laps. I think the next step is probably the fuel. Yeah, Tav and Dewey take fuel. Rye as well can benefit from it. Yeah, we're all doing pretty solid amounts of money. It's just a lot of construction that needs to happen. Alright, next lot. Cargo station. Yeah, I need to think about at some point bringing cargo together to distribute them to different destinations. But that is probably going to come later once I get better trains. I think that's more of a... I feel like that's more like a... when I get the... more of a thing when I get the 80 or even the higher speed wagons. So like currently... if I filter by cargo type... say goods... Like this is the first type of wagon that you get. And they can only do 50. It's the second or even the third one with the 80 and I think 100 or 110 or something. I forget what the higher speed one is. When they come around, then organizing freight seems more of a thing. Seems like more of a valuable thing. I think it's about 1930 when that comes around. Sort of when the game generally changes around that time as well, because you start getting the really good diesel trucks that can carry a lot of cargo. It's about 1930 when you get the red trucks, which are really good. They're really good for distributing stuff from a sort of a medium distance, and getting off the horses really helps there too. St. Petersburg streetcar. Yeah, it's like the next round. It's around that time you get the third round of cargo wagons. I think you start getting planes then too, and a few more ships. Get some faster ships. Yeah, and you can get the trains with the pulling power for really long trains. And that's sort of what you need for delivering to the towns, because like, you know, you need the food car and the fuel cars, and potentially if the towns are big enough, it has the 4 or the 6, so you need even longer trains. The game when I was doing it, I had trains double heading, so it was like two locos at the front to try and pull everything, because the trains were just so heavy, so massive and so heavy. It's just funny that I never really fleshed out the whole concept. These are probably, yeah, they're quite bad now. Which is good that these have appeared. Yeah, there we go. A train near your house that goes past, it takes about 10 minutes to finish going past. Yeah, that'd be a steel train or something, I imagine. There's I remember someone who had that sort of thing where they would have to time, like watching a movie around a steel train going past their place. But it always went past at the exact same time, once a week. And it used to take like 2 hours to go past, though, in their case. So, I've forgotten about that. So yeah, I imagine that is quite an experience when it rolls past. Yeah, I don't think you need touching for now. And we're bringing everything together there. I think it might just be a matter of building out now. Actually, yeah, you're getting food. Can I do any other food deliveries? Like, both of those need food. What can I do about it? Actually, what do you need? Food and oil, food and... Need some oil on his wheel. Oh, yeah. Just 10 minutes of that kind of screeching. Ah, they're all the same. What I will do is double. Take it, double it. Oh yeah, I sort of got distracted because I was going to do the fuel. Oh dear. That's quite a bridge. Some would even say it's a hell of a bridge. Hey, Talung! Haven't played this in ages? More trains? Oh yeah. How you been? That's more like it. Though I might just try and lift it. Oh, I need to go up. It's going down, not up. How's that? Oh, just take it as it is. Transport games have lots of squirrels hiding for you to chase instead of what I'm doing. Very much so. Aw, it's being mean. Stationeering? Another game that's been recommended to me again, and I don't know if I care to do it. How is it? Right, try that. Get all lumpy bit. Oh, you're gonna be all like that, are you? Phase change is a hell of a drug. Bridge is just a tunnel in the sky. That it is. Right then. Get that out of the way. There we go. Problem that fixes itself. Oh, what was it that Ica did when he was playing... I saw him playing Stationeers, admittedly a while ago. I forget what it was. He was doing something and it exploded spectacularly. There we go. Perfection. Yeah, it is a very niche game. It's extreme. It's very extreme on the technical side. Got a bit of a rise there. Hmm. Auto sig? How about now? Nope. Auto sig, yes. One way, yes. Spacing 500 meters. Go. I wonder if there's just something in the way at every step. Now I've got to play the game of trying to find the signal. Oh, there we go. It's appeared now. Alright, it's still too much curvature. Sometimes the game can be a little fussy. There we go. Imposing stupid limits. It's interesting because for me, I don't like when games get a little overboard with the technical stuff. It was like that with the one that I always complain about, GregTech. That's I suppose to an extent it's also industrial craft in Minecraft, but it's just over the top. You make your hammer to pound the thing flat, to make your rolls, and the hammer can only work 8 times, and then you need like 8 more blocks of solid iron. Now, you output oil. And need to deliver to here, actually. In terms of box delivery. Yeah, you have coverage for now. Right, what's your 30? Oh, does it make you break up the whole system into small components? That actually sounds really annoying. What are you? 32. Right, so we want to go there. And there. Then... ideally over here. That does legitimately sound kind of annoying. There's a bit of another angle to it as well, in like with Space Engineers, where yeah, it's nice to be able to program, but I don't want to program in just straight C#. Don't make me program in such a language. one of the things going for more recent games where they use Lua for scripting or something, or a language like Lua, a more sort of lighter scripting language, rather than a full fat compiled language. I suppose C# isn't actually technically compiled. $127 lines of code. That would require a... yeah... Yep. You would have to program self-contained blocks. Yeah, I see it all now, yeah. If you were familiar with the smallest microcontrollers and 1K to 4K, maybe even up to 16K microcomputer environments, you would be able to handle that. But if you'd never really been deep into it, that would be very annoying. Oops. Why are you complaining? Oh yeah, because I never actually finished it. To you and to you. Then you need a way to get back here. The other thing too, being assembly, is it's assembly is an acquired taste. If you're experienced with it, it's not so bad. But if you're not, like if you haven't lived it, it's not as fun. It's not for monolithic programs. Yeah, everything should be yeah. It's more like a GAL or a PLD than a full-blown processor. And yeah, you would have to come in with the mindset of breaking it up into the modules, and again, that's a very specific mindset. So Dorley, we want to go to 2. Why can't you get to here? Why you... Okay, there we go. So I want you to go to number 1. Then I want you to go here. Then here. Which it's not actually accessible yet. So that kind of makes sense. I don't know why I'm saying kinda. It 100% does make sense that it can't get there, because it's physically not connected. Specifically, it's getting back into... It's probably a backwards signal, if I was to hazard a guess. When it comes to these sorts of things, it's always a backward signal. Yep, there it is. Yeah, there you go. It's cleared now. Got to play the find the signal game again, because the physical position and the visual position are completely different from each other. Right, so what did I say this was? This was 32 and 34. So I need about 70-ish for maneuvering everything. 775. Both the same, so it's either way. Maybe that much. What do you got? We've got a Borsig, which is 90. That one. 140. 90. What is it? 329. Let's stick with that one. Right, let's give it a name. It's fuel delivery. Oh, sure. I mistap stuff. Line 2. What are you? That's oil 1. Well, crude oil specifically. And what are you? Oh, that's the other passenger line. That's PAX 2. Actual logic I/O chip. Yeah, the last thing you want is actual AND and OR gates and crap. Oh yeah, how is our line status? PAX 2 is coming together. Let's bring out another train. Its frequency is 8 minutes. You're 12 minutes, so... let's bring out some more trains for you as well. Got a full load. You... make it 10 seconds. Yeah, next oil delivery should be a good one. Yeah, I'm going to push things a little bit and add some more to it. Beyond that is adding another train. But as the trains gets faster, I won't really need the second one. The one longer one will do a better job. And percentage is very low, and I don't really understand why. I'm not sure if that's just because the people don't need to travel or what. So I'm going to hold out until there's another boat before replacing them, but I might not be able to. What else is add? You. I don't know if it really matters replacing them, but Stops the game complaining about it. What do you need? Sprockets. Sprockets. I think that was, yeah, the steel mill. So you need steel. You also need lumber. You're making spanners. The thing is, I'm doing a hub. If I was to bring all the goods together, I don't know where I would actually concentrate it to. I think last time I went from the primary to that. And then it delivered to the hub for further processing. I don't think you can. Oh yeah, you can with wood. Because it's steak cars either way. Steel you can't because it's a hopper to a flat or a steak, I think, as well. But it's going to be a future me problem, I think. I'm gonna sort of ignore the problem for now. The unknowns that I have. I think for now, though, what I need to do is just expand expand tram networks on all of the towns. Get them up and running. That's right. Alright, next one is you. Breading. There, and make it there. Probably a little bit of overkill, but I mean, it's probably fine. Anything to stop people wanting to walk. It's ultimately the whole idea of the game is to stop people wanting to walk between their home and their shops, and take a tram instead. Did I not place? Oh, that's why. Same with that one. There we go. Worst case scenario, I just have the trams running in 2 different directions eventually. I have done that before. Right, that's breading. Done right. Have I missed anyone? Done. Breading, rye. I need to do you. You're done. You need to be done. Okay, there's a few more to do. Alright. Next one. Thank you, town, for expanding oh so much further. Keep it nice and tight. There, to there, to there, to there, to there, to there, to there. Dang it. Rid of that. There we go. You are Tram or Hod Eston. It's hard to type out the names because for some reason it's spelt differently to how I think it's going to be spelt. Right, you're done. You're next. Bletchley and Fanny. That's trains. We want these thing. Yeah, good enough. That's right, this one was the fastest. Not that it really matters, it's only 2 faster than the others. So it's sort of inconsequential, but it's slightly faster. I'm not typing the rest out. That's just extravagant, that is. Self-indulgent, that is. Having such a long name. Fear Rider, how you doing? Hello. Alright, next town. What do we got? We've got 2 more to go to set up some tram networks. Yeah, right now I'm just setting up tram networks in all of the towns on the map. Ready to sort of prime them for long-term growth and connection to the wider network. Was the name generated by the game? Yes, it was. It legitimately was. The game does puke out some interesting names at times. Tram St. Helens. And the last one, all the way over here. Finchy. I was actually thinking about starting here early on and probably worked out better than I didn't. Alright, tram hole. Just make it do a lap of the place. Something like that. Skyline, how you doing? Hello. G'day, mate. I've never really been big on the whole g'day thing. I don't know why. You think I'd embrace it. Actually, I want that there. Rid of you. Now. What was where? Yeah, tram hole up here. And wouldn't you know it? 4 or 5 of these. Probably survive with 4, but one extra for good measure. sort of accounting for growth, so I don't need to look at it again for a while. Right, how are we doing here? It's got 40 left over there. You just picked up stuff. Interesting. It's not got 2 that are empty. You're at a 32. I think it. Yeah. Currently, the train station covers everything, so I don't need to worry about truck distribution yet. That will change as the town grows. Making good money. Yeah, this has been a pretty good run. Normally it's a little bit slower, but I've had some good. The lumber run on the boats here has been a really good run, and the iron ore down here has been paying the bills quite nicely. I have 70, 70 and... Oh, your fuel though. The solution is always add more. How are our lines doing in general? Yeah, the iron boat is... the 3 boat lines are just printing money at the minute. Early boats is so overpowered. It's the way to go. Bricks is really going for it too. Food is doing decent now, even though they're road vehicles, they're actually, I mean, in the scheme of things, then they're probably not paying for them. Yeah, see that the vehicle maintenance. I mean, this is including trams, so it's kind of hard to tell. They sort of don't pay for themselves, but it's a little bit of something. Have more than 2 boats on a waterline. Yeah, I never even touched boats for the longest time. Low friction wins? It does. Yeah, just make the boats go a really long way down the river and throw a lot of them at it. Yeah, this thing's overloaded. I may be approaching the limit because it can only receive 200 or 400. Of each resource, so there is sort of a limit, and all I'm doing is just keeping throwing boats at it until this hits 100%. Probably have to throw some more coal at it as well. I need to merge the lines actually, if anything. That way everything stays in balance. Otherwise, yeah. See, coal's leading at the minute. Yeah, there's 2 separate lines currently. If Colonel Will shows up, I'll be able to lure him into playing this game again, maybe. He was the one that told me to play with boats and get some money going that way. It's definitely worth doing. But yeah, it has to be long range. You can't do it for a short distance. And if you can, the reason why the lumber wins so well is it's bringing the product back to the tools factory. Main advantage of the bulk moves, you don't have to make as much. Yeah, as far as the game's concerned, it moves 70 units of cargo. The boats themselves are fairly cheap. It's 500,000 for 70, which is a pretty good deal. They're not the fastest, but it's comparable to everything else in the 1850s, 1860s. So it just wins out. Very cheap to set up and very fast payoff. A nice Factorio mod. Sure is. How you doing? Ooh, how are my stats now? Oh, you're in the hole. Both in the hole. I think the thing cycle... Again, I want to grumble about that again. It's very annoying. fuel. Ah, excellent. You're coming back. You're only carrying 42 though. I wonder if it's worth adding another train on it. Let's see what happens. I love the ramp down. Yeah, the problem is it, at average, it gives you... So, the previous month's or previous period's average is correct, but as it's going on, it should give you a continuous, like, 2-year average of what is going on, not a 1 month. It's too short of an interval. Okay, it's delivering about half. Yeah, 37. It may be a case I need to duplicate it. You're empty. Oh no, you're another passenger. There's the oil train. Of which I may need another one. Hoping that tunnels in Transport Fever 3 have ground infrastructure for ventilation. Unless it's winter, should likely get a new fireman for that loco as they're firing like crap.
Tahkeibe just resubbed for 89 months. Hi, I'm too sleepy to come up with this sentence.
That's fine. That's good enough that you push the sub button. Thank you very much for the 89 months. That's a lot of months. Thank you very much for that. I would say how you're doing, but I'm guessing you're sleepy. Thank you very much for that. Let's get love and hype going on. Where did the train go? Where did it come from and where did it go? Oh, that's a train face. They're all bunched up together, that's why. A state I don't know anything about, I'm guessing? Yeah. Oh, it actually bypassed the passenger one automatically. That's the thing I was meant to look at, because I put the extra track there just to make sure it bypassed the passenger line. But I didn't need to put a waypoint in. It's already done it. The game is actually pretty smart. You wouldn't know it. The game gives no indication of this being a thing. There's just so many little things like that in this game. A lot of smart little features. Oh yeah, since I've got the money printer running at full speed, we can maybe make this a little bit more direct. It's like that. So dumb. Oh, I missed my mark. That was equally as dumb. I should have been paying more attention as to where the truck stop was. There we go. That's the cutting right there. Yeah, see now they can just go direct, and then kind of direct. There we go. Let's. What was that game that was trendy a few years ago called? Let's just go all ham on that direction. I can't think of it. It was the one. It was the Voxely game, and it was all just trucks. And it was kind of popular, but it was dumb because it was just spam trucks to make stuff go from A to B. Just can't picture what it was called. So stupid. Is there another? Yeah, there's another farm there. Right, what else can we do? Gears, fuel. You've got fuel. You need food. That's the other thing I was thinking of was how to get some food up and running. I think the answer is with a train. Probably a pair of trains. It wasn't Voxel Tycoon. I just always forget the name of it. Yeah, Plan B has a bit of that as well going on, from what I've seen. It's another one of those games where it's like, I see it and it's just, Might make it 3. It was meant to be like a modern industry giant. That was sort of the thing it was going for. I don't know if it was intentional or not though. Trains are coming soon in Foundry. Ooh. Hey, LTP. Very long time no see. Yeah, I had a hard time really getting into Foundry though. That is true, yeah. Captain of Industry is all about the trucks. Might have been Cities in Motion or something. It's the one that I always remember. This one. It's not a particularly interesting game. It's very old. 2015. This is not 2015. This is from like 2008. Oh, Traffic Giant. Is that the original? Yeah, 97. It's a kind of interesting game, but it's very jank. It's a very jank game. Steam is just flooded with just crap games now. In Zoe, the AI Sims. Should try 2 Point Camp. Oh wow, it's 90% off. I should. After that conversation, 2 Point Campus and 2 Point Museum. The problem is, like, I fell out of 2 Point Hospital and I don't. Oh, it's Denuvo. Never mind. Never mind. Cities in Motion? No. I have no idea what it was called. I always forget what it was called. I remember it being trendy with... not trendy. Catherine of Sky was playing a lot of it. That's the the one I remember of the most. Boppity bop. Boop. Bop. Bop. Everyone who was into Factorio was playing it for a while. Sometimes they make it easy not to buy the game. Yeah. I'm happy that someone just said de nouveau, just to make sure that I didn't need to stress over it. Yeah, I might be overloading the truculations a little bit there. Actually, I want to manage the line. All right, you available. Make that 0. Just keep you moving. No. Oh, I clicked the wrong one again. There we go. Just parallel them up a little bit. Hopefully modulate them out a little bit further. Yeah, I think there's too many now. Getting Anno 1800 and the Ubisoft? Yes. I went through the same thing. I was like, I mean, Anno, I did play 2070, and then I saw the Ubisoft requirement, and I was like, I'll pass. The Ubisoft thing, it was alright a long time ago, but it's just progressively gotten worse. Alright, so you bring food down to there. I do also need to bring food down into you. Don't quite know how that's going to happen yet, but it's a bridge to be burnt when we get there. Where's that train hole? There it is. Right, we need food. 70, 70, 70, 7, 7. They're all the same. Actually, before I do that, what do I need? 46. Say about that much. And then you. One. I know 800 is kind of worth it. Yeah. Just the whole Ubisoft thing. I mean, it may change soon. How about the whole EA being bought out by the consortium? That was a thing. There we go. Give it some room to maneuver. The Far Cry put me off the launcher. It was annoying. Having to go through their launcher was very annoying. Yeah, it was a bit of an odd one. It was it took a lot of people by surprise. I wonder if I mean, it's the fund, the Saudi fund that was part of the consortium. I wonder if they're trying to muscle in on what Tencent has been up to. Heroes of Might. Jeez, The list of franchises EA's killed, it's like as long as the list of products that Google has killed. That's just inconvenient, that is. Now, try again. Yeah, that's why. It needs that. There's a surprisingly substantial valley right there. There's the tunnels in the middle of the road. Oh, they actually had it. I should have seen if that was if Heroes 2 or 3 was on Steam or such. Can we like go under, please? Oh yeah, something like that. Cool, you're connected. Where does that go? Nowhere important. Yeah, kind of regret not tracking down Heroes 2. It's probably on GOG. Sort of a gold rush of everyone trying to be Steam. Everyone trying to have their own store. Right, that's not useful to me. What a... Inconvenient depot was inconvenient. It's probably on GOG, realistically. I was actually saying earlier that I saw Commander Keen Collection was on sale, as well as the remaster of Crystal Caves, Monster Bash, and a few others. And so I grabbed all those on sale. I've never actually played Keen 2. And trying to think with I mean, I played through Crystal Caves many times back in the day, so I wanted to finally give the remaster a go. Same with Monster Bash. Secret Agent was the other one. Yeah, I remember playing the demo, but I never played the full thing. Oh, there you go. Pick up a copy. Alright, we want grain. 70, 70, 70, it's all the same. Realistically, that one's probably the go. I think it was that one was the 140, 190, 130. Yeah, let's do that one. What's the Borsig? 90. Yeah, a little bit. It was 384 versus 50. Pop the Borsig. Be stingy. The poor Borsig. Not that one. That one. Bring it to there. And full load. Nostalgic stream coming up? Very likely. Steam is actually good, and that's why it's unbeatable, because people hated it at the start because it was crap. Yeah, it was terrible for a very long time, but it's held its own. It's... For better or worse, Valve has stayed extremely focused on what matters, and they're not trying, like, they're not diversifying and doing all the usual business things. Wasn't it said that like they only have like 25 or something employees actually working on it, or that actually work on it across the spectrum? It's an incredibly lean operation. Oh, you don't actually connect anymore. That's a bit of an issue. Still don't connect. It's like a mountain bike track. The problem is I built the station right on the margins of the edge of closeness. I think it relied on the tendril that was there. I was actually saying before that I would like to do a run of Railroad Tycoon again. Haven't done one of those in years. There we go. Alright, Monsieur Borsig. Even these wagons look a little bit out of time. I mean, these are suspiciously Russian, so it may actually not be the case. But they do look a little bit out of place. And you look at Ubisoft with its 18,000 staff. Yeah, like the core business operation's ridiculous. There is a little bit of inaccuracy in it because a lot of it, their staff is held across multiple studios. It's a bit of a weird one in a way, buying out all these studios and to buy up the IP. Sort of really just want the IP. You really just want a slice of the IP. Well, they do it because they want the slice of the IP pie for themselves. They don't want the slice of the IP pie, they want the whole thing. They sort of don't want to really manage all the teams that they inherit. It's actually also very interesting hearing the Peter Molyneux stories. Is apparently, what I recall early on, he would keep the business people at bay, so the actual development team could keep on working. That was before EA really blew up, and he became CEO. It sort of became this dividing line, and then once he became CEO, it just became this this ruthless monster that just chainsawed up everything that wasn't, you know, if it wasn't an immediate success, just chainsaws it and says, no, we don't need this anymore. What are we doing? 26, 27? Yeah, the Borsig's doing the job. Not particularly fast, but it is getting it done. They also have to keep people on for a while, otherwise companies would be reluctant to sell them, as well. Managers are mostly evil. They do try to help their people to agree. Yeah. It's the cold business decisions that, or the ledger-driven management that hurts the most. Simmons buying Mentor Expedition is what they wanted, and Pad is like a neglected child. It's happened with a few of the big mergers where they want the specific IP, but now they got to entwine, hundreds of other products and all of the sales and support that comes along with it into their system, into their into their system, into their management structure. It's funny you mentioned Mentor, is that that's one thing that I wanted to try, but I was never able to because it was always a bit. When I say a bit, it's a very substantial bit out of my reach. The big fish eating the smaller fish problems, yes. I'd hate to be Altium and bet the farm and the corporate headquarters on everyone switching over to FPGAs, and then the FPGA revolution didn't happen. Do I throw it in the bin, or do I still have it actually? I might not still... I don't know. I have a nano board somewhere. I might have finally binned it because it's junk. Literal junk. I mean, it's technically it's a nice. It was it had 2 different FPGA modules to plug into it, but you need it's a parallel programmed device. Like no USB or anything. It needs a parallel port to program it. Keep in mind that this thing came out in the mid-2000s. Like, this is not some craptacular 90s thing. This was well and truly into the days of USB, and it's parallel programmed. Sending 70 coal halfway across the map sells for nearly 2 million. Now you have 6 boats. Hey, there you go. Yeah, boats. Starting with boats is the way to go. I sort of just wanted to see what their capabilities are, but I think Mentor, from what I recall, Mentor was able to do the really intricate RF simulation, and what I always heard was that Mentor was what you would do for laying out motherboard PCBs, or or any kind of PCI cards as well, PCI Express cards. Ever play with Keith Courage on the Turbo? On the Turbo? Like the Turbo graphics, the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbos? What's the real application of an FPGA? I'm actually having a bit of a stumbling block at that in a minute. Because FPGAs, they exist in a kind of a weird space. You can use them for programmable logic, so you can make any kind of combinational logic with it. You are TurboGrafx. I thought so. See, I'm actually a Commodore and then PC. I had nothing in between. I never had a PlayStation, Nintendo, or any of those things. Although to be fair, once I got Railroad Tycoon, like PlayStation, who cares? You get Railroad Tycoon and Doom on a PC. Like, you don't need a PlayStation. You don't need a Nintendo. You don't need a Game Boy. I actually didn't like the Game Boy. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, FPGAs, their application's very niche for combinational logic. But what the logic that it does do is extremely fast generally. There was something that I was looking at that had a ton of FPG, well, CPLDs, which is a smaller type of a simpler FPGA. There's when it comes to programmable logic devices, there's 3 types. The simplest is a GAL, gate array logic. Those are extremely simple. Those are the original type from the late 70s, early 80s. The next tier up is CPLD, programmable logic device. And then the big boy is the FPGA, field programmable gate array. A GAL usually has less than 100 gates, and the standard, there was like a standard one you could get, and it was like a 20-pin DIP package or something like that. A CPLD, I have a few somewhere here. Those are usually like a 32, 40-pin package, somewhere around that size, and then FPGA, that's the big chonkus with 80 to 120 pins, whatever it is. The replaced cabinet, yeah, that kind of combinational logic is exactly what an FPGA or any kind of programmable gate array would do. Oh, that's right. It was a at work they were dismantling an old 3D printer, and one of the control boards was just littered with CPLDs. It had 5 or 6 on it, just doing different things. It had a PLD for interfacing to the ISA bus that was on the onboard computer. And then it was doing stuff for motor drivers and more combinational logic. Yes, the 3D printer had ISA bus. It was actually pretty common for embedded systems back then. It had a Pentium, I think they said it was. I should point out that this thing was built in 2005-ish. So, it was a mid-2000s device, and this is pretty standard for then. So yeah, you would use, I suppose that's kind of one of the big applications for those sorts of devices is bus interfaces. So interfacing with PCI bus, or ISA bus, or even AGP, you'd use an FPGA, or multiple CPLDs. It does all the address translation and the bus mastering and such. Yeah, anything very niche, low volume, and has high complexity, high tight timing. The stuff that I do for work, they've actually switched to an FPGA to do a lot of processing. I spent like a bit over a year developing it. Trying to think of where else they appear. So I have a Tang Nano, which is a smaller, cheapish Chinese FPGA you can get, and you would use those to do stuff like HDMI output. It's one of the features of it is a HDMI output plug. And so you could offboard graphics from some other embedded system, or you could just use it as a video generator using the Tang. It's probably the most common thing that I can think of is something involving video. It's usually what they're used for. Should probably get back to playing the game at some point. No, it doesn't matter. What I wanted to see was how this train was performing, and I'm quite satisfied with this performance. Interesting that bread isn't really building up there. We managed to surpass the first level, and we've upgraded slightly by the look of it. Suppliers, consumers, Ripon. Oh, I didn't really check that. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, it can only deliver to these towns. Ah. Ah, yes, yeah. Oh yes, they're used in space stuff a lot. Yep, cosmic radiation is definitely a thing that is worried about. Almost link up to that actually. There, the bread train. 56 out of 56. Oh yeah, you can only do the 2. Usually with space these days, they tend to just triplicate the entire circuit, so they'll just have 3 copies of the same thing. Or potentially more. Maybe have 4 or 5, and then have a an agreement thing where it vetoes circuits once it disagrees. Although that was sort of a, I think that was 4 of the copies of the same thing, the veto, and it oh, did that go on the ISS? I don't remember now. It was an interesting system. Yeah, it had like 4 identical versions of the circuit, and then a supervisor, and it would just whatever the result was, it would just take the best combination, the most common combination, and but also monitor the error rate. And when the error rate reached a certain level, it would veto it out. They use the word veto a lot. Right, how are we doing for passengers? Actually, how are our lines doing in general? Boats still dominating. The bricks. Jeez, these are all in seconds. Surprisingly, you're deep in the hole. That tram line. It's probably got more vehicles than it needs to. It's usually what it means. Pax 2 is just sadness. I think it needs to sort of even out though.